All right, today we are going to be writing equations of line and slope-intercept form day 2. Okay, so the essential question 1 is how can you write equation of a line if you only have 2 points? Okay, well, we can use those 2 points to find the slope, and then all you need to do is plug in your known values and solve for b. So we'll plug it into y equals mx plus b, and we'll solve for b. And then once we have our slope and our y-intercept, we can create an equation of a line. Okay, all right, so for example, write an equation of a line that passes through the given points 3, -1, and 8, 4. So again, first step is to find slope. So we're going to use y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So we got to label our points x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, because that's our first and second set of ordered pairs. So our y2 is 4 minus our -1, which is our y1, all over our x2, which is 8, minus our x1, which is 3. 4 minus a -1 will get us a +5, and 8 minus 3 will get us a +5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So our slope is 1. Okay. Well, once you have a slope, all you need to do is plug in one of the points that you have. So I'm going to use 8 and 4 because they're both positive. You can use 3 and -1. It'll work. Okay. It'll work just the same, but if I have a chance to stick with positives, or if one of the ordered pairs has a 0 in it, I'm going to use that. Okay, those are easier to use. Okay, all right, so we plug in we're going to use 8, 4, and that's our x and our y value. Okay, so then our y value is 4 equals our slope is 1 times our x value, which is 8, plus b. So remember, we're solving for b. Okay, so we want to get b by itself. So then we just solve. So we got to simplify our 8 times 1, which our 8 times 1 is 8. And then we're going to subtract 8 to get b alone. And our b is a -4, because 4 minus 8 will get us a -4. So again, once you have your m and once you have your b, which is your y-intercept, you can create an equation. So y equals, our slope is 1, so 1x, and then our b is a -4, so -4, which is the same thing as y equals x minus 4. Okay, so again, I'm going to do it for this next one, and then example 3 you're going to do by yourself. Okay, all right, write an equation of a line that passes through the given points. So again, x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so we're going to subtract them. So we have 5 minus 1 all over 3 minus 2. 5 minus 1 is 4. 3 minus 2 is 1. Simplify that down to us 4. So our slope is 4. Step 2 is to plug everything we know into y equals mx plus b. So we're going to I'm going to choose probably 2, 1. So our y value for 2 and 1 is 1. Our slope is 4, x, which is 2, plus b. And we're solving for b. So we have 1 equals 4 times 2 is 8, plus b. Railroad tracks, we're going to solve for b now. So that's a +8, so we make it a -8. And we can actually subtract these. So 1 minus 8 is a -7. So -7 equals b. So we have our y-intercept, we have our slope, so now we can plug into the formula. So y equals mx, so our m is 4, plus b, so it's -7, so we minus 7. Okay. All right. So I want you to do this one right here, and you can use any 2 points. I suggest using 1 and 3 and 3 and 2, okay? So you're going to use 1, 3. You can use any of them, but I suggest using 1 and 3 and then 3 and 2. Okay, the answer to this will be on Google Classroom or on the copy of notes. All right. All right, so write a linear function f with the given values. So remember when we did function notation, we had f of x is the same thing as y. So when you're looking at that, look what matches up. So our -5 and x match up, and our y and 2 match up. So that's what those stand for. So our ordered pairs is -5, 2, and then 7, 4, -4. And then we're going to do the same steps. So we're going to find the slope. So our y2 is -4, our y1 is 2, all over 7 minus a -5. All right. And then we subtract top part of the fraction and the bottom part of the fraction. So we have a -4 minus 2, which gets us a -6. And then a 7 minus a -5, which would get us a +12. Okay. When we simplify that down, we get a -1/2. So our slope is a -1/2. All right. Step 2 is we're plugging everything we know in. So I'm going to use probably we're going to use -5, 2. Okay. So we have y equals mx plus b. So our y value is 2. Our m is -1/2. Our x is -5 plus b. All right. So we're going to multiply our -1/2 and -5, which will get us a +5/2 plus b. And then we're going to subtract our 5/2. Okay. Your calculator will do this for you. Do not stress out. When we subtract 2 and 5/2, we get that b is a -1/2. All right. Ooh. All right. So when we plug it into the equation, we use our m. We use our b. Y equals -1/2 x minus 1/2. All right. I want you to try this one. All right. Then example 5, an electrician charges $1 or $120 after 2 hours and $190 after 4 hours. Write in a linear model that represents the total cost of function of the numbers of hours worked. Okay, so when they ask you to write a linear model and it gives you data like this, okay, you must write the data into ordered pairs. And remember that time is always x. So that will help us on what is our ordered pair. Okay, so our first one, since it takes 2 hours to work or for $120, that'll be our first ordered pair. And our second order pair will be 4 hours for $190. So let's find the slope. So again, we have y1 or y2 minus y1. So we have 190 minus 120 all over our x2 minus x1. So 4 minus 2. All right, 190 minus 120 will get us 70. 4 minus 2 will get us 2. 70 divided by 2 is 35. So our m is 35. Remember, our second step is to plug everything we know into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to use 2 and 20. So our coordinate for the first ordered pair is 120. Our slope, m, is 35. Our x is 2 plus b. We're going to multiply these, so 35 times 2 is 70. And then we're going to solve for b. So I'm going to subtract 70. 70 minus 70 is 0. So 120 minus 70 is 50. So this is our b. So again, once you have your m, once you have your b, you can write a linear equation. So y equals 35x plus 50. So this is the linear model that represents the pay of an electrician. Okay, versus the numbers hours worked. Okay, so the question is, what is the electrician's initial fee? So when you see the word initial fee, starting point, initial charge, whatever it is, it's always going to be your y-intercept. So our y-intercept is 50 here. Okay, anything where it states that it's going to be a beginning will always be a y-intercept. Okay. And then it says, how much does the electrician charge per hour? So anytime you see the word per, this means a rate of change. So this is our slope. So our slope here is 35. So she makes $35 per hour. All right. So again, if you're given 2 points, you can use those 2 points to find the slope. And then once you have your slope, you can plug in one of those 2 points and the slope into slope-intercept form to solve for b. And always, 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 once you have your slope and once you have your y-intercept, you can write an equation of line in slope-intercept form. All right. Bye, guys.